Hey guys, it's Urban Investor here, back with another video. And currently, as you can probably see, it's very late in the UK. It's almost 1 AM, so apologies if my voice is a little croaky. However, today I want to look at SelfKey. Now, SelfKey is a token which has recently ICO'd. Actually, one of my former colleagues mentioned this to me, and as a result I've digged into it and actually found out this is actually a really good project. Now, before we go through some of the financial data, as you can see, some of it is missing because it's only just listed on KuCoin. Let's jump into what SelfKey is about, straight into their website. Now, SelfKey, looking at the website, we can see it's a really nice website. It's really colorful, really good design, which is a good sign that it's not a scam, which is great. Now, with SelfKey, we can see it's essentially to do with identity and KYC. So we already know in the space we've got the likes of Civic in the space, dealing with KYC and trying to provide a decentralized solution. So there is some competition here. However, one massive positive, as we'll see as we go down the website, is these guys have been around for a few years. The holding company, KYC chain rather, have been around for a while, and as a result they've got some massive partnerships already, hence why I think it's going to be massive and very undervalued at a minute. So let's take a look at the website and try to find out what this project's about. So we can see SelfKey is a blockchain-based digital identity system that allows individuals and companies to truly own, control and manage their digital identity and instantly access citizenship and residency by investment. Can't get the words out. Company, corporation, fintech, products, token sales, exchanges and much more. So in a nutshell, as I said, this is basically identity management, having your digital identity online and being easily able to KYC yourself, which is know your customer, in various websites. Now, there's a lot of legislation changes in Europe. I know there's AML 4 and 5 coming out this year, which means there's a lot lower limits for fintech companies or digital wallet companies, and as a result they have to KYC and also documentation as a result of money laundering and terrorist financing reasons, etc. So in the past, where you could have probably bought a prepaid voucher and then use that to maybe buy stuff from PlayStation Network, or gamble online, or be able to send money P2P through remittance. Now you can't do that. Once you hit a certain threshold, you need to KYC yourself. You need to provide documentation to show that your funds are legit. So I think there's a real use case for SelfKey in that respect. Now let's dive down a little. We can see a couple of the main features. So identity, wallet, securely access your ID, attributes and documents. So basically this is where you store all of your identity documents, one-click application. So basically showing that the product is really easy to use. The current process is, as I personally know, using Poloniex as an example, I had to take a selfie with my identity documents. Then it took about 3 months to verify, and in that time, the price of Bitcoin just skyrocketed, so I missed out. So just to give an example of what the process is at the minute and how broken it is. And then you've got marketplace. So here there's various products and services that you can go and integrate and provide your documents. So actually there's a link here to go through the demo. I'll go through that in a second. Manage your identity, digital identity. So as I said, being able to share your documents without using a third party at the minute. So currently you either have to use a third party or work with the companies direct, and because an example of Poloniex, they take their time because they're probably not a KYC specialist, they're an exchange, so they're not going to be very quick. And in other instances, there's companies out there like Jumios, Phonic, Authentics, which basically are databases where companies use to verify their customers or clients. So this essentially cuts out the middleman. Now this key token, KEY, is basically what powers the network and is the currency for this. So we'll go through, or at least look into, the website and its documents to see what does a token do, how do you actually use the product or the tokens once you've bought in. Private and secure, so basically all the data and documents remain stored locally on your device, not on the server. So basically it means that it's not going to be prone to hacking. You're not going to have any privacy issues. You own your data, but interestingly it's stored locally in your device. So I wonder how you go around being able to access the data, assuming you don't have your phone with you, or if your phone smashes or you get a new phone. So we'll see if we can find out more information on that. Right, and then you've got some information about the token cell, how the tokens are distributed. I'm not going to go into too much. I'm just going to purely look at what information we need to understand to be able to make an investment decision, and also to understand the product, because really we want to understand what the product is before we really want to invest. So what do I get with my key token? So key is an ERC20 token, so using Ethereum smart contract system. With key you can verify your identity and notarize your ID documents and access hundreds of products and services in a secure manner. So then it goes through a few of the benefits, not really explaining how it works, so we'll try and dig in further. Now let's have a look at the product actually. If we dig into the demo, maybe this might help understand and see how it works. So this is really useful as well, and brings a lot more assurance to this project. They've actually got a demo. You can actually go in and see it's a nice product. It's got a good interface, good UI. So I think from that respect, it's being a recent ICO is quite refreshing. There's not many out there. I know Icon, for example, were around for a couple of years researching and getting their adoption in place. So there are a few good ICOs out there that have already done their legwork already. So this is good to see. So I'm not going to go through each one of them, but let's look at money transfer. So as I said in one of my examples, previously you could send money across the world. You didn't really have to KYC yourself. Now there's limits in place. Once you hit a certain threshold, you have to KYC yourself. So you can see on the left here, there's some big names here. You've got TransferWise, excuse me, a few others. Zoom, which is a PayPal company. PayPal bought Zoom recently, a few years ago. They're doing some good stuff. They've recently, I know, expanded in Bangladesh, and I know remittance is one of my fortes in terms of what I do on a day-to-day, working for a digital wallet business. World Remit's another one. So these are companies I recognize, and you can see it's a very useful platform. You can compare the prices, you can compare the limits. So again, I'm assuming that with these companies you'll have to KYC yourself, and this way you can do this direct. These companies are going to be integrating with SelfKey, and therefore rather than individually having to put documents or KYC documents to TransferWise, Poloniex, banks and other places, you can just put it in one place in your wallet, and then you can send these documents securely to these companies. So that's my working assumption anyway. Otherwise there's no reason to have these companies, and I'm guessing there could be some sort of copyright laws as well to having all of these companies. That's my working assumption anyway. Again, guys, do your research, look at the white paper. I'm just going to give a very overview to try and understand the product and give my sort of 2 cents in terms of what I think about it, because otherwise the video is going to be extremely long. So we can see there's a working demo. Do check it out. It's very I think useful. Right, back to the website. So let's look at the history. Again, I'm not going to look at all of the points here, but you can see here, look straight out there, Standard Chartered Bank. I'm sure you guys have heard of that. They're huge. So KYC Chain, the holding company, has gone through a POC with Standard Chartered Bank, and they're basically working in partnership with these guys by the looks of it. If we scroll down, we can see some big players. So yeah, look, public announcement of work with Standard Chartered 2017, so that's fairly recent. So yeah, you've got a few other companies here, huge companies. They've had their pre-sale, and then let's look at their roadmap, which is what we want to be interested in. We want to see what's in place. So let's have a look. So they've got their alpha launching in terms of their mobile app. I know mobile apps are really important at the minute. Jumia as an example, you can take selfies where you know, to provide documentations, and then you upload your, say, your driving license, and then they compare the selfie with your license in real time. The success rate isn't always great from my personal experience, but just an example, just to show how important it is for mobile functionality. Right, and then you got the beta launch of the desktop app, and then in 2019 launch of digital wallets and money transmission verticals apps. So from what I can see, right, they're trying to achieve a lot, if I'm honest. If we remember going back to the marketplace demo, you had remittance, you had loans, you had all sorts, passports. It's pretty big, and my only concern with this is they're going to need a big team. We'll look at the team in a second to be able to deliver on this roadmap, because they're trying to integrate and get their fingers in so many pies, right? So I think that's the first thing. Second thing as well, 2019 is when they launch their beta, so not even their proper you know, platform. So as I said, there's Civic in the space in terms of a crypto alternative, and these guys have already been around for a few years. So my concern is possibly if they're, you know, trying to be too long term in this space, you can miss out on you know, in the race. You might get competitors that enter the space and make a lot more headway. However, as we've said, they've got integration with partners, they've got deals already in place, so in that respect I think it's not too much of a concern. But I just want to put it out there in terms of give you guys a balanced view. So again, you can see some good press. Now moving on to the team. Now let's look at this team. Absolutely huge. I mean, I've never seen a website full of so many advisors and staff on this project. So I'm not going to go through each of these in detail, but I'm going to assume that these guys have got some good background. Again, I'll try and do my own research later on, but in the event of trying to keep this video short, I'll just leave it as it is and just focus on the fact that they've got a huge team, which is refreshing and good to see. And then you've got partners. You can see passport companies, huge companies. I'm sure you guys recognize some of these logos, so great to see adoption and partnerships in place. Now let's scroll it back up. I think I saw presentation up there. Now I'm gonna jump into the presentation, because I think this is where I want to find out more information. I'm still not answering the question of how the tokens are working and some aspects of the project. So let's see if we can find some answers here. Let's have a quick check of time. 13 minutes. All right, cool. Right, let's have a look at this. So we know the team's big. We understand what they're trying to do. So definitely check this out as well. There's a lot of information here. So let's look at the market, what they're trying to focus on. So they're focusing on the Asian market. So if you've watched my first blood video, which is focusing on the Asian market, albeit on the esports space, Asia is huge. I mean, it's a growing market. Half the volume is coming from Korea in cryptos at the minute, so everyone knows how big Asia is in terms of the crypto space. So the fact they're targeting Asia, I think, is a massive plus. You can see a few facts here as well. High mobile penetration, hundreds of millions of unbacked Asian consumers. Asia is the slowest major region in the world to sign up to a bank account, 28 days on average. Asia has surpassed the UK and US for fintech investment. So you can see, I'm not going to read all of them. It's a huge market and a huge potential, and these guys are tapping into it, which is I think a huge plus. Now the key economy, SelfKey ecosystem is a digital end-to-end identity network powered by the native token key. Right, now we're getting somewhere. I mean, this is a working example. of how the tokens work. Now let's see how this works. So let's say you are trying, you open up a wallet. You want to keep your documents in your wallet, in your SelfKey wallet, and then you want to use this as a central method to share with other companies. Say you want to register on Poloniex. Let's use my example. I want to register in Poloniex. We've seen how it works in the current process. I have to upload documents, it's not safe, Poloniex might get hacked, etc, etc. It's slow. So let's see how SelfKey are going to resolve this. So I send my tokens to a claim issuer, a certifier, and then they verify my claim and essentially send it back, right? So basically what this certifier is doing is verifying the documents and giving it almost like the seal of approval. Then what happens, I then send this to the company that I want to engage with in terms of the products and services, and this is, in this example, let's say it's Poloniex, right? Because I want to be onboarded rather on Poloniex. And then what Poloniex do is they send a confirmation back to me, and then they send the tokens or some tokens to the initial party which certified the document, right? So we can see in the flow diagram that's how it works. So we can see there's a good process here, cuts out the middleman, and therefore that's why the certifier not only gets tokens from myself but also from the business that the business that I'm trying to engage with, essentially. So this is making it a lot more easier to understand. So again, using the tokens, how do we use the tokens? So you create your digital ID. So as I said, you download the wallet and then you upload the documents, and then you send my documents to the the third party, the notary, to verify them, and I'll send my tokens as well in terms of a form of payment, and then I can go on the marketplace in terms of the demo you saw, and then I can go send money, for example, and then I could verify myself or send my verified documents to Zoom as an example, and then I can finalize my onboarding process with Zoom. So so we can see hopefully how the tokens work. I'm not going to go into this in terms of more detail. You guys do read this, it's very useful, and then we can see how the identity wallet works. I mean, this is going to be important because this is going to be the crux of it, right? This is where you're going to store your documents, and how does that work? I think I read somewhere else, it's not on here, or might be, I might have missed it, but I'm just conscious this video is getting rather wrong. The way we keep the KYC documents secure, will hold a private key which no one has, not even the SelfKey staff or developers or people working for SelfKey will have that. Only we will have that, so no one can access our data. And then we share it with the various parties by giving them a public key, and this is the way they get access to the data securely. So again, marketplace we saw in terms of the demo. Again, we've got a couple of screenshots, and then we've got some benefits and some, I guess, issues with the existing process, which I've already talked about in terms of how slow it is, how insecure it is, and then you've got how easy it is. Roadmap we've gone through already, so I think we've got most of the details here, right? So I'm just going to jump back to the financials before I summarize. So we can see currently it's ranked 1146. Now you know, no one would go near any projects, or I wouldn't recommend going near any projects beyond the 200 rank in terms of market cap. I do have a couple on the edge, but again, after doing some research in like things like Luna, you know, I'm comfortable with that. However, the only reason is this isn't really updated on CoinMarketCap. They've only just launched on KuCoin. You can see that's where the majority of the volume is, and I think it's a no-brainer. This is going to launch in other exchanges, no doubt, and it's going to have a massive spike. You've already seen the initial sell-off So you can see 16th, when was this? Around about 15th of Jan. It's only 6 days ago. We've had the sell off. It's already on the upside, and I think this is just so early in terms of its infancy and price action. I think it's going to be huge potentially. We've seen it's already got adoption with Standard Chartered working on partnerships, so many companies. It's got a demo platform. They're entering in so many spaces and trying to integrate the KYC process with these companies. It makes it a lot easier to open banks and send money, etc. So I think having the adoption, having these big names, it's just going to make it easier for other big players to sign up with SelfKey. So for me, I think you've got a massive team, you've got the adoption, you've got a real use case, you've got them targeting the Asian market, which is huge, as we saw. The company's got a solid holding company, and so yeah. So in that respect, I think it's a really interesting project, something that I don't think many people are covering at the minute. So definitely do check it out. It's only 5 cents at the minute. I think this can easily be $10 plus. I mean, if we look at Civic, I'm not going to look at any other financials at the minute, market cap, etc., because it's so early at the minute. If we look at Civic, it's ranked 103 at the minute, 300 million market cap. So I think with SelfKey, they're very undervalued at the minute. They can easily surpass Civic in some respects, or at least meet that Civic's limit at the minute, or price sort of value, because I don't think Civic's got as many partnerships and deals, not that I'm aware of anyway. So on that note, I'm going to end the video there, guys. Hopefully this was useful. Definitely do check it out. I don't personally have a KuCoin account, however I'm thinking of opening one just for this specific project, because I think this is going to blow up. So yeah, so do let me know what you guys think. As always, do your research, check out the white paper, drill into further, check the Medium page again. That's very useful. I haven't had time to cover it. It's already been 22 minutes, so so do check out the Medium page. There's a lot more information that's quickly available on that blog website rather than on their website. So do check out the demo as well. As always, keep the comments, likes and subscriptions coming, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.